I was just unapologetically myself and was just like, you know what? If someone doesn't like this, I don't need to be with them because I'm only exploring what I feel is truth more and more every single day, every single day. So when I went up against him, just hugged in that moment, I sobbed. And he had no clue what I was crying about. So that is an emotional bravery that I have had to work towards through loving myself, through learning to love myself, which has been a lot of clearing other people's beliefs and beliefs that I chose to take on. My soul chose to take on because the way that I am meant to work in the world, I can help people better if I have felt those ways and then learn to transform, learn to overcome. And if you're listening, more than likely, the situation's the same for you. Welcome to Embodying You, a podcast of spiritual exploration where nothing is off limits. You'll hear raw, behind-the-scenes stories from people awakening to their soul's path and how they became the healers, mystics, and intuitives they are today. You'll also experience real-time intuitive sessions and healings where struggles transform into breakthroughs that you can bring into your own life. Along the way, you just might recognize yourself in the stories shared. This is Embodying You. Hello, and welcome to today's podcast. Today is going to be the June Akashic Guidance. And for those of you who have been here before and have listened to previous Akashic Guidance, thank you for coming back. And I want to encourage you, even if you've already listened to it, to go back to May's guidance, because every single time I go back and I listen to something, whether it's astrology or Akashic Guidance, there's always something new that comes up that I didn't catch the first time. So if you feel the call to do that, you're highly encouraged to do that. I did that about a week ago and I had a lot illuminated within me. I'll just say that. And today is also something that for those of you who have a desire on your heart to do something in business, to do something. Well, for me, this is my soul-led business. Embodying wholeness is my soul-led business. This podcast is part of what my soul is calling me to do, including these Akashic Guidance episodes, which I actually had no idea were going to be a series until they were. And I'm glad that I didn't know that, because if I had known it before, I might have had fear come up within me and not ever done it. But instead, I did the one when the guidance came through. And then I was getting signs, including a client saying how much she liked the first one, the March one, and how she just assumed that it was the beginning of a series. And as a generator type in human design, I knew, okay, okay. I'd already thought this, and then you said it. Okay, here we are. And so what's wanting to come out about that is that if I had known beforehand that I was going to need to be committed, going to need to be consistent, going to need to be, certain things that my identity back then couldn't hold. I always thought of myself as inconsistent. I'm an emotional authority in human design. I'm also a manifesting generator. So even those things don't tend to lead themselves to the linear path. There are some people who definitely do the linear path. I don't. I have to feel into it. And sometimes I feel like I go forwards and backwards, but not backwards as in one step forward, two steps back, but more of a zigzag pattern of a path. But I'm still headed. As long as I'm following intuition, and it's the same with you all, like as long as you're always following intuition, you are headed towards your higher path, even if sometimes it doesn't work out the way that you hoped it would. So that just kind of wanted to be said. So being here today with you all as I am this morning, I had the intuition drop in yet again to do this live, to invite people on to be here with me while I channeled the guidance. And every other time I've had that thought, not a thought, intuition drop in. Every time it's happened, I haven't done it, because then I start having thoughts of, well, what if nobody shows up? I start having thoughts of, What if they don't like it? What if I mess up? Just all of these thoughts come in. And I have done a lot of work on that, a lot of work on that. But it's this way for us. Like if I'm doing that in this area of life, I'm also doing in other areas of life, right? So when something comes up within you where you find yourself procrastinating, or you have a desire on your heart, but then the desire feels good when it first comes in, but then you talk yourself out of the desire, but you don't even realize you're talking yourself out of it. Just take a moment when the desire comes in and you find yourself not doing it to just reflect, why didn't I do that? Why didn't I do that? Because all I know is I have two beautiful souls on here with me for the live June Akashic Guidance. And so 100% each of your energy is here, but each and every person that is listening, no matter when you listen, I am in the Akashic records for the collective, and it is specific for those who listen. So I do want to make that very clear. This is not Akashic guidance for anybody and everybody. Okay. It is Akashic guidance for those of you who listen. The way that I see things, even though you're not here in the video, when you listen, time is not linear. So I see it as, I always see when people get together, even in this way, it's almost like we form a group gathering. I always see it as a cloud where there are different connections going down to the people, not cords, but connection points. And then when we're done, we all go about our ways, right? The connection points come out. But so in this moment right now, every single person, whether they're here live with me, thank you all for being here, or you are on the podcast, thank you again for being here, YouTube, wherever you are. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And all that matters is that I had the intuitive pull this morning and I just did it. I just invited people. I just did it. And let me see it feels like there's one last thing wanting to commit in about that. Oh, they're wanting me to also just remind you all that all along the way, I'm tuned in to what stories are meant to be shared and what aspects of life are meant to be touched on before every podcast, before every client session, before times in my life where I am not feeling at my best, not feeling tip top. I am feeling like there are emotions coming up. I am feeling less than. I am feeling jealous. I am feeling like I'm not good enough. I am feeling like people are talking bad about me. I am feeling rejected. These are all things that I have felt very recently and have been really, really big for me in my life. Really, really big for me in my life. Another thing that has come up a lot is being misunderstood. It used to be a giant trigger for me when I felt like I would say something and the person would misunderstand me. And I thought if I could just explain it again, they will get it. If I could just explain it again and again and again and again and again, they will get it. But remember, dear souls, anything that comes up within you in every single moment of the day is yours. And if it's something that feels big enough, perhaps you choose to find your own special way to clear it. And in that way, through clearing your own emotions and your own traumas and your own beliefs in a multitude of ways, we've given many examples throughout the past Akashic Guidance episodes as to different ways for you to clear energy. And don't worry, we will give you some ways today. We will give you some ways today too that are coming up specifically for this time for June, for it is the month of June 2026. But know that as you clear, or as Tiffany's recently decided to change her answered prayer mentorship container to unveiled, this is what you are being asked to do in your life. Unveil the true you, unveil the real you, unveil the you underneath. You're really lovely underneath it all. You are your true self underneath it all, your true soul. And granted, you may get to your deathbed and you may not have released it all. That's not the point of life. The point of life, though, is to stop ignoring your feelings. Stop ignoring your feelings. This is the big theme of June, the big theme of June. And we want you to notice that we're being a bit more dramatic. We're being a bit more animated because we want you to pay attention. Woo! We want you to pay attention. I had a big energy surge that came through and there was just a woo. That was all I could do was woo about it. Again, we say that the theme of June, if not all of life, but specifically the theme of June, is unveiling the real you, uncovering the real you, getting rid of these pieces of you that are not you. You know, in the movie Gremlin, how the little cute guy, when he gets wet, he pops off these ugly gremlins. That's kind of like you. When you are in a situation where someone makes you mad, someone frustrates you, you may feel one of those gremlins pop up. The mean, ugly gremlins causing havoc. And they will cause havoc in your relationships. They will cause you to do things that you would never normally do. They would cause you to say things you would normally not say. This is the gremlins here. The ugly gremlins are representing the ugly, trapped emotions. Now, we want to put it this way, just as a visual, because that's what it's like to your soul, except you're not a never-ending pile of gremlins that every single time you get wet, the same ones come off over and over and over again. No, once a gremlin pops off, they're out. They're out. They're not coming back. So this is why, even though you've spent your whole lifetime accidentally trapping emotions, trapping beliefs, accidentally, right? Accidentally. It's not on purpose. It's not on purpose in the way that you did it purposely. If you think back to that age, especially between 0 and 7, you're in a hypnotic state in that time and you're soaking up everything that's happening around you. And you're learning how to be. How codependent are you? How much do you rely on a man, for instance, if you are a female? Or you don't have to be that dynamic, but how much do you rely on other people for your own worth, or to tell you what to do, or to tell you where to go, or what to dress? Just by way of example, you'll have your own examples of ways that throughout your life you've become who you are right now at this right now moment because of everything that's happened in your past. So how long have you lived before you learned about the healing journey? Before you learned that you could actually clear emotions, that you could actually clear beliefs, that you could clear traumas? How long did you go thinking that the cycle that is happening in your life would just keep cycling? How long did you spend, let's say there was a partner who wronged you. How long did you spend telling the story over and over and over again of what he did? This being right here in front of you has played that game for most of her life. She is 44, almost 45. And it wasn't until 41, 42, around in there that this started to shift, where she stopped so much looking to other people to validate her, whether it was in a good way or bad way. And then once she stopped looking to them, everything changed within her. And so an example that is coming up is in partnership, in dating, in a marriage, in a friendship. How often do you wait to make sure the person chooses you? How often is in the back of your mind your actions towards the other people because you're wanting them to choose you? This is rampant in our society. This is rampant in our society. But it's you choosing yourself. It is coming back to love, love of yourself. And there's a reason why those who have been using television programming and music programming, there's a reason why they want you blaming the other people, thinking of revenge, thinking of how dating is shitty, rather than looking inside and loving yourself. How many songs are there about truly loving yourself out on the radio? And I don't mean songs that seem like they're about loving yourself, but really there's something else in the background that they're talking about in the song. Like a song that's coming up for Tiffany right now is a song that she actually really, really loves because it is one of the closest to positive on the radio that's out there right now. And it's by Ella Langley. And she says, just like that, I'm back to love and laugh again. And it makes her feel happy. It's like, oh, okay, yes. However, when you listen to the song, she's talking about how life is kind of life. And she's actually, like, for the most part, seemingly unhappy. And what she has to do is go back in her mind, back to a nostalgic time. Oh, that was a time when I was happy. And so while she still loves the song, know that it is that subliminal. It is that subliminal. And so the reason why we bring this up within that song, one of the things that we just want to share just by way of example is within relationships. There's something that Tiffany has talked about many times before of attachment theory. There's avoidant attachment, there's anxious attachment, and each of them, if they're healing, are working on getting to neutral. They are working on getting to neutral. Well, this song, the way that there's this nostalgia for something else, for another way of being, that is what happens oftentimes, let's say with the avoidant in relationship, of a looking back to past relationships and pining after that person. We're staying on the country theme today, apparently. There's a song by Morgan Wallen where it's called 7 Summers. And he is talking about a woman he dated 7 summers ago and wondering if she ever still thinks about him. And even though, again, this is someone that Tiffany loves a lot of his songs, when she listens to his music, oh my gosh, he's so avoidant. And then what she has also started realizing lately is in country music, so many women are starting to romanticize being the woman who runs. And we'll just stick with Ella Langley for a moment because she has a song that says, if it weren't for the wind blowing, carrying me to the wide open, white lines rolling and the tires smoking, it wouldn't be the rear view I'm looking in if it weren't for the wind. So she's talking about running from relationships, leaving relationships. And there are so many more examples coming up of this. And it goes the other way too. With songs like one from Olivia Rodrigo that is coming to mind, where the person is talking about wanting her ex back. She's talking about wanting him back, but yet she's also talking about kind of doing main things. She's taking the words and she's turning them. And so it is funny, but it's, I want to get him back. And there are so many songs out there also that are romanticizing pining after a partner. And so the reason why we are bringing this up is to paint a picture of just be aware of your influences and how songs are one way we're influenced, but we're also influenced by music. And well, I just said that, by music, by movies and things like this. And so we want to get to what the point is. If you haven't already gotten it, many of you have. There are some of you who are still curious, but only because you are in the beginning journey of learning how to find within you the real you. So let us tell you, all you need to do to find this programming, to find the ways that you have been taught to be in relationship, again, we're going to say again, whether it's romantic or friendship or anything like that, the way that you get back to the real you is through looking inside. And the way that you find your way back to true love with yourself is uncovering everybody else's shit that you have taken on. Again, it has been purposeful. Your soul is here for this exact experience, for the exact experience that you are having, for all of the lessons that you are having, for all of the lessons that you are having. All of them, all of them, all of them. And we are telling Tiffany, yes, 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 this is going to come out because she has choice at what she says, but she has surrendered it all. She has surrendered it all. But what started happening there for her for a moment is she started getting in her head rather than her heart. And so it wasn't coming through as clearly. She was fumbling, fumbling, fumbling. Ooh. And so remember, there's nobody out there that is perfect. Not that she is saying that you thought she was perfect. Not at all. She has, in fact, made it very clear that she is not perfect in all of the ways, including the way that her soul has chosen to give her something that she feels like makes her less visibly perfect, which are the red patches and acne on her cheeks. And then now today she had a surprise red bump show up on her eye, and her eye has not done this in months. But of course, because she's here showing her imperfectness after living a lifetime of feeling like she needed to be perfect. And is it all gone? No. No, no. And so it is the same for you all. The trajectory that her life has gone in for being able to show up here on camera, not looking perfect, not feeling perfect, not being perfect, not speaking perfectly, as well as showing up on her Instagram or in client sessions or anything like that. That has been a journey. That has been a journey of letting go of perfectionism. How has she let go to the point where she just this morning gets the idea to invite people on to this podcast to be here with her live and feel community, the community that she craves, that she desires? How does she take that imperfect action this morning without all the ducks in a row, all the bells and whistles, without days of letting people know ahead of time? She cleared herself just like she did at the beginning of this podcast episode. Now, she's had years of experience at this, but you need not have years of experience to do this. So we are going to give you a few tools, but we are going to remind you that truly this idea of unveiling, uncovering, and unraveling all of the ideas and beliefs that your soul has chosen to take on, but now is ready to release. That is the theme of June. That is the theme of June. And so we're going to talk about journaling again. And there may be some of you that when we talk about journaling go, oh, not this again. You guys give it every time. And we do. And here's why, a couple of reasons. When you brain dump through journaling, you do open up your channel. You open up. If you have a busy spinning mind, but you just you write imperfectly, you scribble on the paper. There have been times where Tiffany even would speak out loud, like, and say these things and be mad and scribble on the paper. And it made no sense if you looked at it. When you journal, you clear the channel, you clear things out of the mind. And you open yourself up. You open yourself up for the magic that wants to come through you. And when you do this, when you journal, especially with intention, even if it's for 5 minutes, you do release energy in this way. Energy moves. It is all about intention. We hope that you are really hearing what we say about intention. When your intention is pure, you will be surprised what happens. We don't mean pure as in the way that you've been taught to be angelic. Oh, the angel never gets mad, never gets frustrated, never has jealousy. That's false. It is false. It is false. It is false. If you are someone who's ever channeled an angel, you know that they have all of the emotions. And you also know that us guides, well, we can be all sorts of ways. We can be silly sometimes. We can be very serious. We can be playful. We can do strange animated voices, and we can come in and we can be really fucking serious. I am not fucking around. And the reason why we say this is because Tiffany has several, for whatever reason, it's the male guides that have been coming through for her lately. The guides for males, that is what I should say, where their guides come online, and probably because this is not true for every single male, but there are a lot of males that are not quite ready emotionally to dig in, but a lot of women are now. A lot of women are. If you are here and listening, you are, but a lot of men are not. And so some of the men that she's channeled for lately who are right there, their guides come on and they are not fucking around. I mean, they will tell them like it is. And she leaves it going, whoa, that was so powerful. That was so powerful. So we want you to know that you are not alone in any way that you feel in your life. You are not alone in anything that you feel, any situation that you're in. You are never alone. Not only because you have guides around you all the time, the highest frequency, brightest light guides. Do make sure that you set that intention very clearly. But you have guides and angels and ancestors, the healed and benevolent ancestors around you all the time to help. You just need to ask. We want to repeat again, because this must be repeated again, because we set it as a throw off. Please do make sure that you set your intention, that you're speaking to the one true God. You're asking the one true God or universe for help in your highest frequency and most connected to love or brightest guides for help. And then you will be guided to what to do. So journaling is one thing. You can brain dump. That gets energy out of your body. Another one we have mentioned before, but we will mention it again for those of you who have not heard here. If you dance with intention, with the intention of releasing certain emotions, it will happen. It will happen. Tiffany discovered this when she would muscle test to clear an emotion, and she wouldn't want to do it the way that her mind told her to do it, right? So she decided, you know what? I'm just going to turn on a song and dance, and then I'll come back in here and I'll clear these emotions. But instead, she found that when she muscle tested after dancing, those emotions were released. And this has happened time and time again, and has happened with her clients and many others. Dance is very powerful, moving the body, somatics. Sometimes you might need to jump and dance all crazy, but sometimes that won't feel good. And maybe you need to hold yourself, hug yourself while you sway to a slow song. Maybe you need to put on a song and lay down on the ground on your back, flat on your back, and point your toes down and up, giving yourself this rocking motion with your whole body limp and loose, and just letting it go. And breathing and taking breaths. For you see, you are your own energy worker. You've all been given the God-given right to release energy. You've just forgotten how. Some of you have your ways, and some of you have forgotten how. And that's okay. And that's okay. But remember, once the energy is released, it doesn't come back. So each time you do these practices, you are different. You are a higher vibrational frequency than you were. So pay attention to the daily activations, What is happening in your day to day that is making you feel a certain way that maybe you don't love? It can be something really big or something really small. And what we would ask you is not to put pressure on yourself for every single thing to clear on it, but to pay attention. And if you want, one thing that Tiffany did do for about a week, to be honest, she did not carry on with it, but for about a week, she just wrote down every trigger that she could as they happened. She wrote them down in a list. And then afterwards, she sat down and she said, okay, what's the commonality here between all of these things that happened? There were three that had the commonality of being misunderstood. They all came to her from different ways. One was at work. One was from someone who she thought was a dear friend. And one was from a completely different area of life. But all of them were pointing her to how it made her feel when she would speak and be misunderstood. Or if someone who she loved, like this dear friend, someone who she loved, that they could hold on to a false story about her and then end up sharing it with her. That was a very hurtful period of feeling misunderstood. Now, did she go back and defend herself? No. If someone wants to hold on onto stories about us, they are going to until they are ready to release them, if they ever do. If people hold on to stories about you, it is because for their own journey and their own life, they need that story to make them feel better for whatever their situation is. And if they ever choose to look at their activated feelings about the story they're holding about you, then they will heal. And maybe you'll come back together and maybe you won't. But that's not the point. And we also want to throw in here that there's also the truth that not all souls are meant to be friends forever. And so sometimes there needs to be a painful ending so that one or the other will stop trying to carry the relationship on when it's actually not meant to continue. I'm going to see where they want me to go next, because often when I channel, it does not make sense to me as I do it, but then I listen back and it makes sense. So right now I feel all over the place. I'm just going to be honest, but I have come to realize that when I channel for so many people, I think it's just everybody's energy coming in, and life is a great experiment. Okay. They did want me to say that out loud, because life really is an experiment. We can't know how we feel about something until we give it a try. And sometimes, even once we give it a try, we have to remember that we are a beginner, or we are a middler. We're in the middle of it. Maybe we tried it again years ago, but we hadn't tried it again lately. And so we actually have this old identity of the one that failed, and we're trying to bring it forward. And so we want to give you, we feel like examples would be really, really good. And we are hearing someone who there's a piece of it that they're not quite getting yet. And so we feel that this will help. Just this morning when Tiffany was outside and actually, we're going to back up a little bit more. We're going to back up to Sunday morning when she had these ideas of things she needed to finish up for her business. And she was looking at bringing those things forward. Okay, how can I get these things done today? And okay, I'm taking my daughter to the pool, but I'm not going to get into the pool. And I'm going to sit on the side of the pool and I'm going to work and I'm going to this and that. And in her head, it sounded like, yes, this is a responsible thing. I'm taking things seriously. I hang out with my daughter a lot, so this is fine. You know, she was telling herself all these things, but then she started feeling these anxious feelings come up. And the first thing she did was blame the people around her. The first thing her mind did was blame the people around her, because she has her kids half on, half off. So obviously when she's here by herself, she can do whatever the hell she wants. But when they're here, there are other people to consider. So immediately she started thinking, oh my gosh, this doesn't happen like this whenever they're not here, And as soon as she had that thought, she recognized it. Oh, okay, I'm blaming them for how I'm feeling. But it is me who is feeling anxiety. It is me who is feeling scattered. And once she sat with that and she did her own methods of clearing, The same one she does with clients. And how can she do them with clients? Because she's done them with herself. She does them all the time, all day long, all day long. She does them here and there. But she sat with her guides. She spoke light language to calm her body down, to move the anxiety. And we're going to do that again now because we can feel anxiety in the pit of her stomach. And so since you're here on the podcast, you will also receive this too. So concentrate on that sacral part of your body for a moment. And we're going to speak a little bit of light language. If you decide not to accept the light language, no worries. Your higher self knows you do not accept it. But if you choose to accept it, just open to releasing from the sacral area. Awan aru elianana kute enmere elianana krushtakian mar kute shitakiana hamere leatakunama. Iane kine kuama iane. Remember, you may feel the release or you may not. Tiffany did not used to feel it, but now she does with the exhale. There's one more round if you are accepting of it. Ira lama again, narma again, shututukama. Iana kamalu kishetakian marako shutakiana, mala haine hene kiana. You cannot do this wrong. You cannot do this wrong. If you've chosen to accept it, it is happening anyway. It is happening anyway. It is happening anyway, because we are all one. We are not separate. And if you are here and if you have accepted it, then you have received it. And if at a later time you decide, you know what, I want to accept that clearing, it will be done. And so it is, as they say. So going back to yesterday morning when she started feeling this anxious feeling, and she sat down and she cleared, it became very, very clear to her what she actually needed to do. She was trying to be rigid in regards to the things to be done. She was trying to hold on to the old identity of the person who gets so overwhelmed by the things to be done that she actually just throws them all out. Okay, you know what? I'm starting over, guys. I'm starting over. So instead, she looked at everything she had to do once she was calm and with guidance. And the day went very smoothly. She realized, oh, I don't have to do taxes beside the pool. I can take the extra 30 to 40 minutes that it's going to take for me to complete them, because she didn't have much left, and then go to the pool and swim with her daughter. Here's the thing. Her daughter would not have been happy at the pool swimming by herself. There were no other kids there. So she actually was setting herself up for the frustration she would feel at her daughter asking her to get in the pool over and over again. Some of you just take this moment and see if you can think of anything that this applies to, where your mind is telling you, or you're being rigid because you're afraid you're going to fall back into old patterns. That was what it was for her. She was afraid she was going to fall back into an old pattern. But instead, the true her, the now her, the new her, the her that has been uncovered because she has been releasing so much over the years, realized, oh, wait, I am not even me from 3 months ago, from 6 months ago. And I am taking this thing that matters to me more seriously, while also following intuition. Intuition will always guide you to exactly what you need to do, whether it's in career and friendship, relationship. It's just, do we always listen to it? It's much easier to listen when you uncover, and reveal your true soul. And that is what we have for you today. That is what we have for you today. Thank you. Gracias. Okay, so the Akashic Records portion is over, but I'm tuned in to what wants to be shared. And what wants to be shared, I knew this was going to come in somehow, is that, yeah, I'm probably going to get emotional when I talk about this, but today, June 1st, is my stepmom's birthday. and she died a few years ago. And when my boyfriend was here over the weekend, we were talking about schedules, talking about when are we going to be able to see each other again, because he lives 2 hours away and he has a crazy work schedule. And so we were talking about when we're going to be able to see each other again. And he was talking about different things, and he was talking about June 1st specifically. And as soon as he did, I'm there in the kitchen and I start to feel tears come up. Now, old me wouldn't have even realized that I was pushing those feelings to the side, that grief that was trying to come up to the side. So for a split second, I started to do that, especially because he was here. And I get to do a lot of crazy things because I'm here by myself, right? I get to scream or cry or sob or do whatever I want, like pretty much all the time. Even when my kids are here, I'll kind of let it out. Sometimes I have to warn them if it's a primal scream, because really I have been practicing these throat chakra opening practices for years now. And so I'm in the kitchen and he's just talking to me and I'm feeling these tears come up. And instead of pushing them down, which I'm telling you, I almost did 2 or 3 times, I said, no, this is coming up for a reason. It's okay. And then I thought, well, but he doesn't understand. Like he doesn't do these kinds of things. He's not like practicing these things. He won't get it. And I heard, doesn't matter if he gets it. I mean, this is how it was when I first started dating him. I was unapologetically myself. Unapologetically myself. I was weird even to me, because I didn't used to channel. I didn't used to really even believe in another presence other than maybe a blob in the sky. I was like, oh yeah, there's an energy that started it all. And I didn't believe that there was any interconnectedness or anything. Like I did not believe any of that. And I believed in therapy. I mean, I went to talk therapy many times to help me get over some abuse that happened in my childhood. And thank God for that. Like therapy helped so much. But as we're standing in the kitchen and I'm feeling emotions wanting to come up, I just decide to let them go. And he looks at me after a minute as he's mid talking about his schedule. And he's like, oh, are you okay? And I couldn't even say it. I just said, can I have a hug? And so I hugged him. And when I did, I didn't know what would happen. I just knew I was trying, because I don't think I finished this thought at the beginning of the relationship. I was just unapologetically myself and was just like, you know what? If someone doesn't like this, I don't need to be with them, because I'm only exploring what I feel is truth more and more every single day, every single day. So when I went up against him, just hugged in that moment, I sobbed, and he had no clue what I was crying about. So that is an emotional bravery that I have had to work towards through loving myself, through learning to love myself, which has been a lot of clearing other people's beliefs and beliefs that I chose to take on. My soul chose to take on, because the way that I am meant to work in the world, I can help people better if I have felt those ways and then learn to transform, learn to overcome. And if you're listening, more than likely, the situation's the same for you. So I did that once. And then afterwards, that's when I told him, June 1st is my stepmom's birthday. And the thing with my stepmom, she came to live with me at my dad's house not long after I'd moved in. And I actually didn't know he and I were going to butt heads so much, because I only saw him every other weekend. So I didn't realize it was going to be like that. And so thank goodness she came along, because she really helped my dad understand me understand my dad. But she also helped because honestly, God love him, but a lot of people don't get along with him. So it was like this, there was also this camaraderie felt in that I wasn't the only one that he didn't get along with, right? I wasn't the only one in the house that believed he was hard to deal with. And then there were other very traumatic events that I'm not going to share on here yet, but that happened throughout the years of us living together, that if she hadn't been there for me to talk to, for me to cry with, for me to have a partner in life, like, I know that she was put in my life to help get me through some of the hardest times I have ever been through in my entire life. And they were that for her too. I know they were. And so there was a lot there that I thought that I had fully grieved, but just her birthday coming up. We always used to message each other on our birthdays. I would sing her happy birthday in a voice memo, and she would sing me happy birthday in a voice memo, and we would joke around about how we sounded. And so the point of this is that in that moment, I could have very easily decided not to be my true self just then with someone who I love and who is supposed to love me. But more than that, it at this point in my journey, it would not have been loving myself fully to have not allowed myself to let that grief out with someone I'm comfortable with. Now, if I was in the middle of a store and I felt the grief come up, would I have in the middle of the store just been like, ah, I mean, okay, maybe one day, but I don't know. But I would have gone to my car and then let it out then. And so I'm going to ask them, this is what I feel wanting to come in to wrap this up, because they're wanting to give you an example of just the little ways that we can accidentally shove our emotions down, because I could have shoved that grief down that was wanting to escape, that was wanting to release. But instead, I let it out. And in fact, even though he was about to leave, I allowed myself, because I felt there was another round, to go outside while he was packing up. And another round of grief and sobbing came out of my body. And again, I could have told myself, no, you don't have time for that. No, this isn't important. Oh, maybe he'll think I'm stupid, or any of the things. And I'm saying these things because at some point I have felt that way, right? I have felt that way. But even if those thoughts come up for a minute, I cannot let those thoughts actually run my life. I have to let the true and pure thoughts, and my genuine belief, like I've said, is that the number one thing for all humans to do is to clear the trapped emotions. So, if you're feeling angry and you have a way to let the anger out, let it out. If you're feeling grief come up and you have a way to let it out, do it. Get support. Get support also. I have not gotten as far as I am by myself. I have not gotten as far as I am by myself. In fact, one of the lovely women on here with me right now, Katie Kanak, we have healed and grown so much together since we have become friends. And then she also is a Kambo practitioner. She serves frog medicine here in Oklahoma. She'll travel if anyone wants Kambo from an amazing Kambo practitioner. But she's held so much space for me and helped me heal so much. And I've done the same for her, right? We've gone back and forth. But there are other times where I really think what I'm trying to say is allow yourself to be held. And probably the most important thing is allow yourself to be held by someone who's going to call you on your bullshit in the most loving way. And I'm not saying that Katie's called me on my bullshit. So I'm not saying it like that. Although, yes, we both actually have been very frank with one another, but we invite it, right? And those are the kinds of friendships that I have now. When I reach out to someone and I say that I want to know about something, I am expecting the truth. I'm not expecting for them to candy coat it. And so be careful about who you go to, because some people want to stir the pot. Some people are not healed enough yet for what you need. So if you want more of the same and to continue to be more of the same and blaming other people and accidentally staying the victim in your situation, you know, you can definitely do that. But if you want to have different patterns, different cycles happening, and you're ready for the shifts and changes, get support. Again, there are so many ways to do this. My personal path has been, I did talk therapy for a long time. And then I shifted over into energy work, and I started off with emotion code, and then I went to body code, and then belief code. You know, there are all these different modalities. And if that, here's what I'll say with emotion code, you can use muscle testing, and you can go in when you're feeling heightened, when you're not feeling good, you can go in, you can muscle test, you can use this chart that they've made, this beautiful chart, and you can muscle test, what emotion do I need to release? You can figure out, is it inherited? You can figure out what age it was, or you can go to someone like me or another emotion code practitioner. Again, I've also done the other modalities. I've done body code and then belief code, where you clear entire belief systems. And so that is just one example of a way where you can get help. But you can do that for yourself, but you can also, so if it hasn't been clear already, one of the main things that is really, really coming through in this whole episode, through the Akashic Guidance and through the story that I'm telling, is that genuinely the way to true freedom, the way to know what you're actually meant to do in your own life, is in following intuition, is in learning to love yourself more every single day. If you, those two things alone, opening your heart, especially to yourself, opens so much intuition. You're able to hear things so much more clearly, so much more clearly. And we can have things like heart walls, emotions trapped around our heart. We can have all sorts of things that we are able to release in order to be more in touch with who we are, with our true selves, our most empowered self. If you aren't sure of your purpose in life, I'm telling you right now, uncovering what is keeping you stuck is key to figuring out your purpose, even if you're still in the midst of it. You're still in the midst of it. Maybe you have happened upon it, but you feel like, I'm not all the way here yet. Just keep going, keep clearing. And like we were saying earlier, ask for help. Ask for help. There's a saying in Coda that's, we don't heal alone, we heal in community. We heal in community. And yes, we can do a lot ourselves, but we heal in community, whether it's retreats, whether it's talk therapy, whether it's group therapy, whether it's going to an energy healer like me or someone else that resonates with you, whoever resonates with you. This idea that we have to do everything ourselves and we have to do everything alone, that is false. Just remember how biologically we are meant to live. We are actually not meant to live in homes all by ourselves, as crazy as that sounds, right? We are meant to be living in community. And so biologically, we heal best when we are in community. Now, I want to give you a quick idea, because some people may take that to mean like we have to have a group of people. And you may think, oh, but I don't have a group of people that live near me that feel the way I do or believe the way that I do. And really, like, I haven't found that community myself either. I have a few people here and there that I hang out with around here, and Katie is one of them. But I don't have like a group that I feel is like, oh yeah, I can go out with my girlfriends kind of thing yet. I'm manifesting that. One of the ways that I was able to find community was in podcasts and listening to people and learning from them, because I felt less alone and I felt like I was a part of the group. It makes me think of, there are these DJs that I used to listen to all the time, this one group, and they were just themselves on the radio. They weren't trying to be super funny or use strange voices or anything like that. And I loved them because I felt like I knew them. I felt like I knew them. And so for me, that's how podcasts were, especially when I was feeling really lonely. I could listen to podcasts and it's almost like I felt like I was throwing myself in community. But then I also did sign up for things. If something came up that I wanted to learn about, I would sign up for those things. And maybe I would be in a membership and I would become friends, whether they were long-term friends or just friends for right then, with some of the people in that group. So in that way, even I found community and I found ways that I could talk about what was going on with me, where the person in response wasn't exacerbating the situation. Because again, if people aren't doing the work that you're doing, what you can get back from people may not be the most healed advice. It may not actually be what will help you in the long run. Okay. That feels like that is it. If anyone has any questions, feel free to DM me on Instagram. My handle is in the show notes. And if you are interested in doing something like learning how to do emotion code to clear emotions for yourself through muscle testing, and you decide you want to get certified to learn how to do it, I do have an affiliate link. So if you ever decide to do that, please reach out to me and I will give you that link because it is kind of nice. I get a little bit of a kickback and it's fun. It's always fun to see people sign up for things and to get the little thank you, because learning those modalities really helped me, because then I didn't feel like I was constantly having to go to someone for help. And so even the clients that I have in Unveiled who are with me for 3 to 6 months or longer, depending on how long they sign up, but I teach them their own ways to clear energy as it comes up for them, because everyone has kind of their own way of doing it. But emotion code is one that you can very powerfully clear. And you can do that one for free. You can purchase the book and learn how to do it that way. But if you want to get certified, that's the one that I have the affiliate link for. And then besides that, if you resonate with me and you want to come into session or you want to come into a longer container with me in Unveiled, I have 2 spots open. And what we are going to do within that time, we are going to uncover and unveil so much of who you really are. And the thing is, we do it by looking at what is coming up in your life at that moment, along with the goals that you have for our time together. And we powerfully clear that energy. And I have been doing this work, well, for many, many lifetimes, but also on myself. I do this work on myself all the time. It is my passion. It is what I love. And it is really powerful when you can really tune in. Like if you were to come to me and you were to say, Tiffany, this and this and this is going on, I can tune in and I can actually know what is the root of why this is happening. What is the root of why this is happening? But then not only that, we clear energy on it. And you will be really surprised when you clear entire belief systems. You will be really surprised how quickly your thoughts start to change. And the thing is, kind of like what I said earlier in the episode, if you're getting angry and frustrated, let's just say in partnership, there's an underlying feeling beneath it, like feeling unappreciated. Unappreciated may be behind the anger that you're feeling in partnership. And if you're feeling unappreciated there, guarantee you, when you go to work, if you have a boss, you are in some way feeling unappreciated by that person. Or if you're in a business where you have clients, maybe you think, oh, they just don't realize all that I do for them. Oh, they just want too much, feeling unappreciated. So when you start clearing energy on the underlying thing very powerfully, and a lot of it, watch what shifts. It's why my client Mika, back in episode 14, talks about how she feels like in 3 months, we did 10 years worth of talk therapy. And then she signed up for another 3 months. We are close to the end of 6 months together. And it has been so amazing getting to see the shifts and changes in her and in the other unveiled client that I'm working with, as well as myself, because we heal in community. We heal in community. So I don't do it alone either. I do it along with my clients. And then I have healers that help me. So again, if for some reason I don't resonate with you, but you are feeling like you meaning to work with, because obviously you're here, I must resonate with you enough for you to listen. But if working with me for whatever reason doesn't feel like it's it, then I still welcome you if you would like to reach out, and you can, I don't know, we can, if you have a couple people in mind, we can test that intuitively. Yeah. So it can even be a certain modality if you're thinking, oh, should I do this or should I do that? And I can help you figure out where you need to go, regardless of whether it's with me, because again, when you heal, we all heal. It's so, so true. Okay, well, I will end that here. Thank you so much. I love you. Have a wonderful day or evening wherever you are. May your June be really fucking lovely. May you end the month of June more yourself, more connected to yourself, more connected to the earth, more connected to the people around you, because as you grow in love for yourself, automatically you begin to have more compassion for other people. You begin to love other people more. It's just how it works. I love you. Thank you so much. If this episode spoke to you, please subscribe and leave a review so others can find this show too. Your support helps this community grow and brings more voices into the conversation. Plus, I would love to hear your biggest takeaway. Thank you so much.